Hello everybody. It's taken a while for them to find my opponent. We went down a rabbit hole because I tried it out in my zombie clerics deck. And as usually happens, whatever ideas I had been having got set aside because I was using Archghoul of Thraben, but I only had 9 zombies. So I'm like, why don't I just do a zombie tribal and throw all the zombies in there? So I probably have too much splash of blue in here. I have 1 Path of Peril. I could put a splash of white in instead. Let's see. I got all of these up front, huh? Let's go ahead and put out Champion of the Perished. My first playtest of this, I had 4 copies of this in my opening hand. And my opponent had 4 removals. So I put down a copy every turn, and he destroyed a copy every turn. Okay, it's turn 2. My opponent, I would advise you to play a land. That would be really awesome. I know it's a difficult move. I know it's really like one of the most instrumental, turns in the entire match. I don't want you to screw it up. But I think instead of roping, you could actually play a land. If you got one. It would be a brilliant move. Yes! Yes, I knew you could do it. Turn 2s are so hard. What can our new pet do? Damage the environment? Yeah, but we're in a magic environment. It doesn't stay that hurt, does it? That turns into a zombie. So what is this? Is this a mirror match? Is that what this is? Trigger. Champion of the Perished is going to be giving me triggers galore all the time. And we wait for our opponent, who is the lovable Kitsune, to decide if they're going to block or just take the damage. I was going to take a screenshot of the 4 of these held in my opening hand, but every time NVIDIA does a driver update, nothing works. It starts automatically recording my videos in a whole nother folder. I have to go back and locate it. It disrupts all of my careful plotting and planning to set things up and have it just ready to go. I have a turnkey operation set up here, and NVIDIA is just updating the drivers so often. It's just crazy. I have to reset way too much for my settings. But here's the secret to our sauce, Archghoul of Thraben. He's going to kill a zombie. We're going to get to look at our deck. And of course it's not a zombie, because that would give us card draw advantage. I mean, what good is that? This is how my playtesting has been today. Just so y'all know. I have not drawn a single zombie yet in my playtesting with the Archghoul. And I have a ton of zombies now. It seems like whenever Archghoul gets out and things start dying, all that's left for me to draw is land. Alright, 1 turn to set up everything. And now we're pretty much set. The one thing that doesn't benefit from Necroduality quite as much is Jadar, because Jadar is legendary. And not a zombie. Even a wizard. But Jadar gives us zombies. Why did they act it? Why did they crew that on this turn? I don't get that. Oh well. Mine is not to reason why. Mine is to run over with the Archghoul and hit you in your face. Hit you in your lovable face. Unless you're just gonna rope me. Come on. It's my turn. Still my turn. Let me play, please. Thank you. Ugh. This is so excruciating. My entire day has been like this. Why cannot people just let me hit them? There always has to be this dramatic pause. Master's Rebuke. Can't really stop that. We do get a couple of triggers. And I guess we will go ahead and take that. Although I did mention that all I'm getting is lands, right? Whenever the Archghoul gets triggered. Just so you can see. 2 triggers so far with the Archghoul, 2 lands. Yeah, come on through. We're not going to block that. Now look, it's my turn and suddenly I can't do anything. Let me have my turn. Thank you. Okay, I've gotten plenty of land. Seven lands and only 6 spells so far. So it would be nice to get something besides land at some point. That's it? You can just gonna attack with that. Go back up into your hand. I really need one more creature. I really need more than one creature, actually, but not the one in there. A duplicate legendary, which isn't going to help, and the one that can't block out of the entire deck. Thank you, Magic. Thank you for doing just everything against what I needed. Let's go look through Travis's deck and find him the absolutely worthless cards besides lands we can possibly give him in all of the entire deck. Well, I can force it to die and get me a couple more tokens, right? We've got them scared. They're not attacking. And land. Thanks. Sure. Keep the new one. The new one's better. That's all we're going to do. About my best choice now is just to go wide and create a bunch of extra decayed zombies. I need about 5 more, really. Nobody cares about you. There's not 4 creatures in your graveyard. It's not going to transform you. I think that's a misplay. And another land. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The one thing we're not asking for anymore. And they quit anyway. That was not a fun game. That was way too long for what it was. Every time I make these cheaper decks, my opponents take that as a sign that it's extra time to rope me. Let's go in and show you the whole thing. Zombies. We do have Jadar as a legendary wizard. He's a human wizard, but other than that... Okay, so here's the main thing. We have 4 copies of Archghoul of Thraben, just like we did in the Zombie Cleric deck. Because Archghoul is both a zombie and a cleric. This time I'm forgetting about the clerics, I'm just going with the zombies. So whenever the Archghoul itself dies or a zombie, we get to look at the top card of our library. If it's a zombie card, we get to put it into our hand. So far, it just shows me land. But we do have 4 copies of Champion of the Parish, pluses them up, +1/+1 whenever another zombie enters the battlefield. This can be a regular zombie or a non-token zombie. We have Razorlash Transmogrant, can't block, but you can return it, and it costs 4 less to activate if an opponent controls 4 or more non-basic lands. The cool thing is that it's a zombie, so it can plus up my champions, and it's a renewable resource I can get it back from the graveyard. 3 Ghoulish Processions, whenever 1 or more non-token creatures die, you create a black zombie creature token with Decayed. 4 copies would be too many. For removal, I got 4 Go for the Throats, and what else do I have in here? I have 1 Hero's Downfall and 1 Path of Peril. I have 4 of the Jadars, and that might be 1 too many. We'll find out. I've got 1 Tainted Adversary with Death Touch that we can add in extra Decayed Zombies if we have enough extra mana, so that's a nice mana sink. We've got 4 Fell Stingers this time, so we can draw 2. It would cost us 2 life, but it gives me some more card draw. 2 Headless Riders. Whenever a non-token zombie dies or the Headless Rider dies, we create a regular zombie creature. These tokens do not have Decayed. 1 Humbling Zombie also creates a Decayed zombie. When it dies, it's got Death Touch. 1 copy No Way Out to make him discard a couple cards. 1 Malicious Malfunction to get rid of all the 2/2s if I want to. And 2 copies of Necroduality. Whenever a non-token zombie enters the battlefield, you create a token that's a copy. And a couple of things to get rid of their graveyard. Diagraph Scavenger. When it enters, I get to exile a card from a graveyard. And Diagraph Horde. When it dies... when it enters the battlefield, I create 2 zombie creature tokens with Decayed, and when I do it, exile up to 2 cards from the graveyards. And my big card, Writhing Necromass, costs 1 less for each creature card in my graveyard. It's a 5/5 with Death Touch. It's kind of cool. 1 Field of Ruin, I think, let me see... 2, blah, blah, blah. I feel like I have 1 too many blue sources. That's a draw card, but let me go ahead and just do an extra Field of Ruin, just in case we come up against some pesky stuff. I know there's some new stuff with Phyrexian March of the Machines, that they have the special lands that you can create, like disgusting toxic mites that can't be blocked and nonsense like that. You always got to worry about the Argoth lands. Fields of Ruin actually works against the Transmogrant zombie because you want to have a cheaper cost for that to bring it out. And if you're using Field of Ruin to get rid of their non-basic land, you're kind of fighting against yourself there. But I'm willing to take that little bit of tension just because I only have 1 copy of the Transmogrant. It shouldn't be something that decides the game too many times, right? So before I forget, remember to like and subscribe. We do have a couple of new subscribers. We're going slowly but surely. So welcome. Thanks for coming back. If you've already subscribed, just hit the like button. That's allegedly supposed to help us. Does it? Does it really? I don't know. I'm sure it must some way. It's just one of those hidden intangible things, right? You're pretty sure that they're telling the truth when they say it's going to work that way, but you just don't actually see it happening. But, you know, I don't see the air I breathe, but I trust in it. That would be terrible. We go to all these social media websites, and they're telling us to do all these clicks, and it's supposed to do all this stuff for you, and then it turns out none of it does anything. And they were just playing a big April Fool's joke the entire time. That's the way it is with your urine sample when you're sick in the hospital. You know, they don't do anything with that. They just want to see, you know, how desperate are you? Here, go fill this jar. They just store them all in a bunch of closets. That's why there's some places that are marked employees only. You're not allowed to go in the hospitals. That's where they store all the urine jars. Gonna learn all about the hidden truths of the world here, boys and girls. Do you not have a basic planes? What's going on? Well, they had 3 lands already, and they were... Maybe they had 3 planes and they didn't have any more? I don't know what's going on there. Can we have... I'm looking for a fun game on Arena, which means I don't want roping, and I'd like to have a little bit of land, but not draw nothing but land. So I'm looking for that little Goldilocks. Our opponent is Sir Soups-a-Lot. That's gotta be somebody who does not rope. Somebody with a cool name like that is here to play, right? I think I do have too many specialty lands. I need to get a more untapped black up front, since I do have 4 copies of Champion of the Perished. Am I industrious enough to go back and fix the deck later, or am I just going to be lazy? I might just be lazy today. I had a long work week. To relax, we come and we make new zombie decks. I don't know that I'll keep this one. I mean, I'll keep all of them technically. I export the deck list for every single one that I make. Plus, we go ahead on Aether Hub and we create the deck list there for you guys to go ahead and copy if you'd like to trot it out for a try. But I'm not sure. Beyond today, am I going to keep this one? I mean, I do like, when I get to use Champion of the Perished, I do like the card. And when you get one up front, it can be a nice, easy way for you to scale. This is sort of our version of mono red aggro. By having the Champion of the Perished is a really key card in terms of the zombie synergies. Now we get a zombie that doesn't have decayed, that's essential. But I think I'm willing to get rid of it now, just to get the extra 2 cards, rather than wait. So that gives me 3 drops, so if they have any 2 drops, we don't have to worry about stuff. Oh, they have Sheoldred. On-curve Sheoldred, mythic rare. No, thank you, sir. Homie, don't play that. If they have a second one, we cry foul, right? We just claim they're cheating. Triskaidekaphile. And a Fairy Vandal. Okay, but those are both 2 drops, right? That's why we have this card. I don't even have a splash of white. We lose one of our creatures, but we get them down to 1. So as long as there's no Sheoldred... Actually, even if there is, we should win now, right? Yeah. Alright. But... that was a lot more fun. It shows you the quickness with which the zombie decks can do stuff, and we didn't get roped. So thank you, Sir Soups-a-Lot, for at least not roping. I'll take losses as long as they're like reasonable losses, quick losses. Even after a long, drawn-out slugfest, you know, I'll accept that loss happily as long as you don't rope at me the entire time. What else did we want to do? I think, since I'm on the zombie kick, I'll probably get a little bit more into the blue zombies. next. Because let's see, it's already my time, it's the end of April. So we're looking at a rotation in a few months. And we're going to lose Innistrad, right? So let me go enjoy my blue zombies while they're around. My opponent is Acid Rock. If they're on acid, this could be a very interesting game. Or it could take a really long time as we wait for them to decide things. Does somebody like Acid Rock choose that as their deck sleeve? Really? Really? Okay, untapped land. We got a 1-drop. We're taking it. Do we do the Razor Lash or do we do Ghoulish Procession? We do Procession. That needs a crew of 3. Ah, see? This is why we need Field of Ruin. Look at this. Becomes copy of target non-token artifact. They can make copies of Bankbuster. They can make copies of Anvil. All of it disgusting. Okay, Archghoul. And we wait because they're holding priority because they have Unecold Anvil. It doesn't have Summoning Sickness. They could sacrifice the Anvil itself or the Bankbuster to create a 1/1 if they wanted. And we have to wait for them to recognize that they're holding priority every time, which means they're roping. Ugh. That's going to be the entire match. That's one of the problems that I have with Unecold Anvil, is that it automatically holds up priority. It wouldn't be as much of a problem if they realized it. Okay, you're tapped out. You can't crew the Bankbuster, which means it's Unecold Anvil again. And even on their turn, we have to wait for them to realize it. This is why this card should have like some form of Summoning Sickness. Maybe it should be an artifact creature. I don't know. Come on. I just want no roping for a day. Is that too much to ask? It's been a long week. Maybe they'll kill something. We'll get to show off the Archghoul finally. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on. You can do it. There we go. I knew you could do it. Okay, another Archghoul. So if they do have a trick up their sleeve, we get double draw triggers. We'll throw the extra Archghoul in there for them to trade. Oh, they're just going to quit now? That wasn't a good game. You did nothing but rope me the entire time. Okay, we'll do one more. I guess maybe this far into the meta with Innistrad being around for so long, people are just too familiar with the quickness that is zombies, that can be zombies. If you're building up the advantage too much by turn 3 or 4, they're just throwing in the towel. This is one of the better starts, especially when we get to go first. Mono red aggro is great against us. They usually have something they can use against us. Here they go now. Somehow the play with fire is always up front. Are you willing to trade? This might surprise you, but I'm willing to trade. I get one trigger. I'm not putting that in the graveyard. And let's go ahead and just set up with Foolish Procession. Against mono red aggro, just taking time out to do an enchantment and that's it can often mean death. Because they're setting up quite nicely. I don't have the blue splash that I need for the Necro Duality, which is kind of unusual at this stage. It's a very weird game. There it is. Yeah, I think they got me.
Listen, pal, I'm with the Gatewatch, so you might as well give up already. Watch me heat up the dance floor!
Creed doubles. Can't really afford to exploit anything. I'm too far gone. We can go after Chandra. That's about all we can do. Can't afford to pay the 2 life, really. That should do it. I can just do direct damage, right? Yep.
Aw, you're looking a little singed.
Yeah, that was okay. They did fast, they knew their deck. I didn't have any life gain like I did in my zombie cleric deck. Yeah, red's a good matchup just because they usually have a bunch of cheap removal spells right up front. There's always a paper, rock, scissors kind of deal going on around here. And zombies is fast, but mono red can be faster. Four lands? Okay. We'll try it. Ooh. Three colors already. We have to sacrifice a non-token creature. Let's get rid of Jadar. And let's be ready in case they have a way to make us kill more zombies. Decayed Zombie triggers the Archghoul. We are keeping our removal. We do need that. What do we want to do? Which is the bigger threat? I feel like I should get rid of the Death Toucher. And we add another zombie. Trigger for the champion. We don't get to take advantage of adding more, but I only have one copy of Tainted Adversary. I very rarely get the chance to create more copies. I'm always getting it way too early. Goes after my Archghoul. We do get one trigger. Zombie, please? For a change? I have mostly zombies in my deck, and no. Of course not. I have 4 copies, and I'm losing lots of zombies, and I haven't got a single zombie yet to be drawn out of that. Technically, if that was my only calculus for this deck, this would be a failure of a deck. So we're a sacrifice deck, are we? Sure. Let's just trade. Good board. Start over. Give me some sacrificial fodder. Draw a card. Give me more land. With the card that I just used. I just sacrificed land to get more land. They kill everything. Fine. I'll exploit this one. There we go. No, just the one. Land and champion and trigger. Alright, I've done what I could. Ooh, Ayara. Hello, Ayara. You are legendary. That does not stop me from killing you. Which means I get to hit everybody. Finally! Draw a card. Sacrifice my land, replace it with the land. Rinse and repeat. Skrell's Hive. I don't think I killed out Skrell's Hive, do I? Attack with 1. You take it. Triggers with the others that are left. We're just watching out for another Brotherhood's End. Without that, with one more turn, we'd be able to outscale. We'll take that. We don't care if they attack. We're way ahead. Trigger, 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 trigger. Trigger, 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 trigger. Exploit you. Let's draw some more cards. 9. Ghoulish Procession is great. And we attack. You can't block. They need creature removal. Okay, so they exile my Death Toucher. And down to 2. Along with a couple more triggers. Brotherhood's End doesn't matter anymore. They would need a board wipe. Exile all creatures. Hey, that's great. That's not even a mythic rare card. I just need to wait one more turn for you to kill yourself, right? Flying, First Strike, and Haste. Rankle and Torbran. Player sacrifices a creature. Force will damage a player or battle this turn. It does that much damage plus 2. They weren't going to try for 9 with the incubator. They can't afford to attack, right? So they're just going to block. They need to have some way to... No, they are going to. Never mind. We'll just kill you. We'll destroy that creature, and we're good to go. Alright. Beat some March of the Machines cards and everything. Not too shabby for a bunch of zombies. I don't hate the deck. Never guessed intruder. Alright, we'll show you the deck one more time. You can decide for yourself. It can be very fast. And the key is we're always getting more zombies with Jadar. And sometimes different cards give you decayed, sometimes they give you regular zombie tokens. But in this case, it's so easy to get your 1-drops, your Champions of the Perished, that you combine them with Jadar, which is another 2-drop. It's pretty cheap, it's legendary. And that gives you a bunch of the triggers to scale up those 2, or those 4, that you can get. I do like the idea of keeping the Razor Lash in there as a recyclable way to go get another zombie if I'm not drawing zombies to pump up the champions. The Ghoulish Processions, I could maybe take or leave and put other stuff in there. They're not vital, but if you do get them and put them to good use, they can provide a good part for the game. Minimal removal, as I did even less than 8 this time. Right, there's 4 there. There's 1 Hero's Downfall, 1 Malicious Malfunction, and 1 Path of Peril. That's only 7. I don't usually do less than 8. But this deck is so fast that we're geared towards aggression. We're geared towards attacking first. The Tainted Adversary, I think I need to get 4 copies of this, and then maybe I'll be able to use the kicker that you can pay 3 mana any number of times to get more decayed zombies. As it is, this one almost always comes up like very early on the game when I don't have nearly any mana to spend on things. And the Mind Splice Apparatus won't help you on a card like that. The Archghoul is great in theory. How many zombies did I have? I had 9 in the Zombie Cleric deck. I have 20 zombies. 20 zombies, and hardly any Archghoul activations, and any that were either cards I wanted that weren't zombies or lands. Almost without fail during the entire stretch of this. So in theory, this would be great for card draw and help you go even faster and guarantee a few more wins. I'm not sure if Arena does that to me on purpose. That's another one of those conspiracy things. I can't prove it, but it would have been cool just once to actually have a zombie die and have Archghoul help me draw a zombie and put it in my hand. Did not happen. So if we're judging it just based on the original idea that I had to try this deck out, it's a miserable failure. Fell Stinger, though, really good at doing the draw card advantage. Headless Rider is great for giving you, you lose a creature, you still get a creature back, that kind of thing. So he worked out great. I don't think Hero's Downfall really played much in this at all. And the other stuff, the bigger stuff didn't come out too much. The Scavenger, the Horde, and the Necromass, I'd have to play more hands. But they're kind of, I guess, only 1 copy of each, so we shouldn't expect to see them too much. And again, I should probably have just slightly more untapped Black Swamp so that I can get my 1-drops out with a little bit more consistency. 61 cards. What do I take out? I'm not sure. Maybe Malicious Malfunction, because most of these are cheap. So maybe Malicious is the one thing that doesn't belong. But with your draw card advantage and the possibility of facing mill decks and the possibility of going up against, like the 1/1 Infectious Mites, and you just really need to destroy everything after being subject to a White Sun's Twilight, it's hard for me to make any kind of deck with black in it that doesn't have at least 1 copy of Malicious Malfunction currently. But that's my thinking. Let me know if you agree with my thinking, or if you disagree. I do like to have a debate. Everybody else, have a good one. Thanks for joining me.